Καλησπέρα Μελβούρνη, φίλες και φίλοι. Σήμερα έχω τη μεγάλη χαρά και τιμή να σας πάω μέχρι το Ballarat, στο μνημείο του George Divine Treloar, ενός ανθρώπου ο οποίος έκανε πάρα πολλά, όχι μόνο για τον ελληνισμό, αλλά για την ανθρωπότητα. Σήμερα τιμήσαμε τη μνήμη του. Να είστε όλοι καλά.
My name is Penny Tobanopoulos and I have the honour of serving as public liaison representative for Μέριμνα Ποντίων Κυριών of Oceania. It is a pleasure to be your MC for this morning's special commemoration. On behalf of Μέριμνα Ποντίων Κυριών and the George Divine Treloar Memorial Committee, I would like to welcome you all to this special commemoration here in the city of Ballarat, a city rich in history, culture and community spirit. Thank you to everyone who has travelled to be here today, from near or far, to join us in marking the 6th anniversary of the unveiling of the George Divine Treloar statue and the 10-year marking since the fundraising began for this project. 6 years ago, we gathered on this very spot to unveil not just a statue, but a story. The story of an Australian hero whose heart reached far beyond his homeland. George was a man who saw human suffering and refused to turn away, becoming a beacon of hope for those who fled and suffered loss, proving that compassion knows no nationality and that one person truly can make a difference. We also proudly acknowledge the statue of Lemona, which stands nearby, a moving tribute to the mothers, daughters and families who endured and survived the hardships of displacement. Together, these statues of George and Lemona tell a complete story, a story of people's pain and perseverance, and of the man who reached out his hand to help them. Side by side, they embody both the giver and the survivor, the compassion and the resilience that define our shared history.
Thanks very much, Penny. And welcome to all of you to our beautiful Sturt Street Gardens on this chilly spring day, but not a bad one. We haven't got rain, so that's fabulous. As you've just heard, I'm Sam McIntosh, one of the councillors for the City of Ballarat Central Ward. I've been mayor a number of times, and I am a very, very proud honorary member of the George Divine Treloar Committee. I have been part of this process to ensure that George and all the work that he did is recognised here in Ballarat. And today being a fantastic day marking the 6th anniversary of unveiling this magnificent George Divine Treloar statue, it certainly is one of my favourite statues in this Sturt Street Boulevard. Many of you may be aware that Ballarat is quite famous for this street of statues, and I really do think that George is one of the most important statues, and Lemona tells a great big part of that story.
Good afternoon, everyone. I won't be long. I don't want to talk too much today. We have some very special guests who are going to speak about Treloar, about Lemona, the statue, and the work that we've been doing all these years. I would like to thank one very special person today, apart from all of you, Penny Tobanopoulos. Penny is tireless. She has worked so hard. She is the youngest member of Μέριμνα Ποντίων Κυριών. Thank you very much, Penny. And I'm not going to say too much on that. And then we've got Effie Granitas. This story that she's just about to tell us about Forget-Me-Not, Mimalismonis, is about this beautiful flower. And I won't take too long. I'll just go straight into that, and if you can talk to us about the significance of the flower and the story of Treloar. I thank you very, very much for coming up. I look in your eyes and I know you're all so happy, which is great. It makes me feel good. Thank you very much, and I'll give the microphone to Effie. Thank you. I won't go anywhere.
This was actually a letter that I wrote, an open letter to George Divine Treloar. In rural Victoria, I came upon a cluster of miniature flowers, their delicate petals a brilliant blue with bright yellow centres resembling crowns. Though quiet and humble, they blanketed the land, inspiring whispering sweetness and resilience. To many, they might appear insignificant. If not for their adorning shade of blue, they would be almost invisible. Yet for some of us, they evoke sentimental connections, reminding us of someone, of once upon a time, of kindness and humanity's potential impact. During one of history's darkest chapters, your courage and compassion saved countless lives. Generations later, our hearts remain full of gratitude for your legacy, a voice for the voiceless and a protector for those in need. You continue to inspire those of us who walk the earth today. We honour you and our brave Anatolian ancestors, both saved and lost, with bouquets of myosotis, or as they are fondly known, forget-me-not, mnημείου. Largely from the northern hemisphere, specifically Eurasia, they flourish in abundance around the globe. I wonder if you noticed these blooms while overseas. Myosotis from ancient Greek references the plant's ear-shaped foliage or petals. They also grow in Anatolia, particularly along the Black Sea, where they are native. As the land and its flora are common themes across cultures, these blooms, much like your philanthropy, bridge our homelands and are often associated with themes of remembrance, enduring love, continuity, resilience and nostalgia. To gift these tiny blooms is to promise we will always remember. Flowers are often reflect our emotional bonds in poetry, songs and storytelling. Many legends explain not only how the forgot-me-not received its name, but also how enduring and multifaceted it is. One such legend tells of a tiny blue flower being so unassuming and overlooked, called out to God, "Forget-me-not, O Lord." In response, God blessed it with a name profound. A Greek myth suggests that it whispered its name as the gods assigned colours, with blue being the last. In another tale, a grief-stricken Aphrodite, mourning her beloved Adoni, created a small blue flower to remember him by. Norse mythology recounts how the deity Frigg planted them to ensure soldiers would be remembered in battle. Another myth has Freya, the goddess of love, creating the flowers to honour her husband who had left her. In yet another tale, it is said that the deity Odin brought him into existence by throwing a handful of sky blue petals onto the earth. In Christian legend, as Mary wept at the foot of the cross, her tears fell upon the ground and miraculously created the first forget-me-nots.
Για τις πιο δύσκολες ώρες σας, είμαστε κοντά σας. Παναγιώτης Τζιότσης, Orthodox Funeral Services. Με κατανόηση, συνέπεια και επαγγελματισμό, όπως απαιτούν οι περιστάσεις. Παναγιώτης Τζιότσης, Orthodox Funeral Services. Τηλέφωνο 03 95 68 58 58.
Blooming even in winter, as a symbol of her enduring love and devotion to her son and her constant intercession on behalf of humanity. Another Christian legend describes how the forget-me-not was born from the blood of martyrs, which watered the earth and brought forth the flowers. Medieval folklore tells of gentlemen drowning while gathering these flowers for their ladies, crying out "forget-me-not" before being claimed by the river. There is also the belief that when a loved one passes away, they transform into forget-me-nots, and seeing them on the earth is a sign that your loved one is thinking of you. It is clear why the main symbolism of the forget-me-not concerns love in absence, and why it has held such significance over centuries. Its gentle beauty, strength and emotional resonance have made it a cherished flower across cultures and time. Today it stands as a poignant reminder of the Armenian genocide, a symbol for International Missing Children's Day, and is linked to fallen soldiers in the shadows of World Wars I and II. In New Zealand, it embodies the resilient spirit of the nation's natural heritage and cultural identity. Moreover, the Alzheimer's Society has adopted it in raising awareness for the devastating journey of memory loss. Just as this flower features in our shared story, so too can a cause be woven into this narrative. For you, Major, served in World War I, while Lemona, seated beside you, was once a missing child. You helped countless refugees in crisis, and past traumas, both generational and personal, can indeed contribute to cognitive decline in our community. Forget-me-nots encapsulate memory through shared stories and bonds. Their name alone promises that sacrifices made, lives lost, and resilience shown will never be forgotten. Each bloom is a story, a heartbeat, a struggle, a connection that transcends time, language, and distance. They have the power to keep love alive, even in adversity, reminding us of life's fragility, the scars of lived experiences, and the importance of remembrance. Just as they have left an indelible mark on human history and culture, so too have you. The impact you made lives on in the hearts of many. Thank you for your extraordinary bravery in standing tall when it mattered most, ensuring that survivors were sheltered and safe, and allowing their stories to continue, never fading among us. May these blue whispers from the past and present reach you with respect. May their quiet beauty, imbued with deep-rooted emotion, inspire all who see them to learn our shared story and to value humanity and integrity. May they grow freely, for there can never be too many blue flowers around. Eonia mnimni, memory be eternal.
Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is George Giles, and I am the college captain for St Patrick's College, Ballarat. I am indeed honoured to be standing here today as we remember the great work and legacy of George Divine Treloar. George is an old collegian of our great school, and he embodies many of the values that are present throughout the college today. Honour, respect, a sense of empathy, hope, and a deep value for human life and its significance. George's life and his efforts have had very little publicity until recently. His is a story little known outside of the Pontian Greek community. I, like you, think that his story is one of significance and one that should be told and revered. George was a local Ballarat boy. George was born on the 23rd of April 1884 to Thomas Reed Treloar, a chemist, and Jane Nee Divine. Educated at the same school as myself, St Patrick's College, he was a bank clerk in Ballarat for 5 years, then a jackaroo in Western Victoria, before he farmed in Western Australia. While travelling by ship to Adelaide, he was recruited by actor manager Julius Knight and toured Australia with his troupe.
Good morning everyone, Kalimera σε όλους. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends. It is truly an honour for me to stand before you today to say a few words about this remarkable individual, George Divine Treloar, and to reflect on the legacy he left behind, especially in the context of the work and the mission of Μέριμνα Association here in Victoria. We are gathered not just to remember, but to reaffirm the values that his life exemplifies: compassion, courage, service, and commitment to humanity. We all know that Treloar's greatest service came after the war as a humanitarian and relief leader, overseeing the resettlement of thousands of Greek, Armenian, and Syrian refugees, navigating immense logistical, political, and humanitarian challenges. To speak meaningfully, however, about Treloar's legacy, it is useful to reflect on the mission and spirit of the Μέριμνα Ποντίων Κυριών Association here in Oceania. The Greek word Μέριμνα means care, means concern, means worry, but in cultural and community contexts, it often connotes care, support, guardianship of heritage, community, memory, and social welfare. So let's try and imagine that as an association such as Μέριμνα would be committed to caring for community, for preserving memory, for supporting descendants and cultural continuity, and for acting for solidarity with those facing hardship. This statue here in Ballarat that was commissioned by Μέριμνα back in 2015-16 signals that Μέριμνα sees itself as a custodian of memory, as a conduit for honouring sacrifice, and as a bridge between Australian and Hellenic narratives. In that light, Treloar's life dovetails beautifully with what Μέριμνα seeks to represent. His service to displaced peoples mirrors Mérimna's concern for vulnerable populations. His documentation of suffering and survival aligns with Mérimna's role as guardian of communal memory. His bridging of two worlds, Australian, Greek, humanitarian, reflects on Mérimna's mission to weave diaspora identity with local belonging. Thus, when we invoke Treloar's name in the context of Μέριμνα, we are doing more than honouring one man. We are reaffirming a collective pledge to care, to remember, and to act. So it's for this reason, and for many other reasons, when the call came from our sister association of Ποντιακή Αστεία back in 2016, that the Pan-Cretan Association of Melbourne immediately said yes to any fundraising activity that was required to erect this glorious statue. So much so that even our global brothers in Greece and in Crete, I speak of the Laigorafokos Omeros Kouritas, headed by its leader back the Patakos family, could also not say no to such an initiative and also weighed in on the fundraising aspect with a very generous donation. In closing, I would like to commend all the stakeholders for their enormous effort in bringing this project to fruition six years ago. You can only be commended. So may we honour his legacy by renewing our commitment to care, to remember, to serve, and may Μέριμνα continue to rise as a beacon of community, memory and compassion. Thank you.
Για τις πιο δύσκολες ώρες σας, είμαστε κοντά σας. Παναγιώτης Τζιότσης, Orthodox Funeral Services. Με κατανόηση, συνέπεια και επαγγελματισμό, όπως απαιτούν οι περιστάσεις. Παναγιώτης Τζιότσης, Orthodox Funeral Services. Τηλέφωνο 03 95 68 58 58.
As we know, he was born on the 23rd of April 1884. I think he was a bit of a mischief, really. He had an older brother called Thomas, a sister called Beatrice, and a younger brother called William. When gold was found in Victoria in 1851, Ballarat burgeoned, but by the mid-19th century and 20th century, the gold trust started to fade. And George said that it passed off in existence, which is a bit over the much, but many people left, and some days no single person came into his father's chemist or his X-ray room. From 1900, when he fell off the Roman rings and left school, to 1908, when he became an actor, his life was a bit ups and downs. His wife Kathleen said he became a wanderer, but she also said he was very broad-minded, and never mind what came up, he could handle it. He kept me on my toes. We'll leave that bit out. He got a job at the Colonial Bank, as you said, where he was a running boy. He actually taken money, cheques and papers between other banks. He got paid £1 a day, but only when he was working, not any holiday or sickness pay. And while he was at that job, 3 banks disappeared, closed. 1901 was both a sad and wonderful year. On the 31st of December, his mother died. But On the 7th of May, earlier, his future wife, Kathleen May Treloar, was born in Constantinople. She was 17 and a half years younger than George. What would you think, what was the chance that they were ever going to meet? He in Ballarat, she in Constantinople.
In closing, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who joined us today in remembrance and reflection. As we conclude our service, may we continue to uphold the values George Treloar lived by: service, empathy, and humanity. May his story remind us that even in times of hardship, compassion is our greatest strength. Before we all leave today, we'd like to invite you all over to the statue for a photo, as we do every single year. And we would like to remind those that there is the luncheon down at the Golden City Hotel. So once we finish through here, if you could make your way down, that would be fantastic. Thank you, and for those who are not staying, have a safe drive back to Melbourne, and we'll see you next year.
Σας ευχαριστούμε που μας παρακολουθήσατε. Μην ξεχνάτε να βοηθάτε αυτούς που μας υποστηρίζουν. Μέχρι την επόμενη εβδομάδα, από μένα το Σωτήρη Σωτηρόπουλο, γεια σας και χαρά σας.